Hi, this is Drew with Living Naturally. We wanted to take a moment today to show you all some of the web improvement features we've been working with clients on lately. Trying to just bring the sites a little up to date, modernize them, make them easier to navigate for your customers, and improve that site traffic there. So we'll go over a few key points today briefly, and if you have any questions, of course, you can always contact us. We're glad to help. If you've already had the web improvement training, we hope that this is informative for you and continues to teach you, although you've already had that training. So let's go ahead and get started by logging into the site, and we'll start to cover some of our points here. So as you can see here, we have our Web Management Console open. We'll be using that to make the actual changes on our site here. And first of all, let's take a look at the site and let's talk about what your aims are here as a store with your customers, and what you're really trying to achieve, what we can do through maybe updating the site for you. So if we take a look at our old site here, we've got, right off the bat, it's pretty drab and dull. There's not much going on. The layout looks extremely complex. If you're a novice user and you're coming in, you just want to find a product or get some help on some natural topics, you may have a little bit of trouble navigating. It's a little confusing. We're putting a lot of content here, and as you can see, it's we could probably benefit from a little bit of streamlining and reorganization. So what we'll actually do for the site here is, first we'll go ahead and move some of these elements around to make it a little bit more user-friendly. We'll go ahead and have this row of add tiles to the far right move to the bottom to widen these three columns here in the middle, and that will make the site a little bit less intimidating when you come online. We'll go ahead and move this left menu to the top to give it more of a modern feel, and we'll go ahead and reorganize the menu a little bit to make it a little more user-friendly once again. We'll go ahead and reorder some of our third column, and this is the third column here. Some of our third column tools here. As you see, we've got Product Finder, featured articles, coupons, a couple other tools. So we'll go ahead and reorder some of those. And then after actually editing the layout of the site to bring it up to date, we'll go ahead and change some of the content, update some of the store's normal features that should be updated regularly to keep people interested, to keep the traffic coming in. We will as well go ahead and talk about search engine optimization, which includes some of this content that we provide here for you. It's really a vital tool to keep people, new customers, coming in and being trafficked into your site from online. This way your site is more visible, it's got the presence online that it needs, and we understand that. We understand how to use that search engine optimization to make your site really stand out. So we'll go ahead and talk about those key pieces of content there that you want on the site to increase your optimization. And lastly, we'll talk about some of the aesthetics of the site. As you can see, once again, it's it doesn't stand out very much, and especially in the market we're in, of course you want to really stand out. You want to really make an impression on your customers. So those are the topics we'll cover. And we'll go ahead and start out by looking at some of our format changes in the Web Management Console. So now that we're in the Web Management Console, let's take a look at some of those format options we just spoke about. Key being menu, reordering some of those elements there in the right column, and a couple other features we'll go over. These are simple things you can do to really bring the site an updated look, to really make it more comfortable, more usual to customers. They're used to this site format all over the web virtually now. The left menu is a little bit dated for most sites, so they're used to this more modern look. They'll really appreciate this format change for your site. So let's look at how to do that. Here we're in the Web Management Console, and the actual menu configurator, if you go to the left menu group, here we have the monthly maintenance items on the top, which are items we recommend you change to keep the site fresh. We'll hit on that a little bit later again. But underneath Website Management, if you scroll down and you click Menu Setup, and this is how the menu is actually managed on your site. So as you can see, we have a lot of options here. Up at the top, these are global menu settings, if you will. Basically, you can set your menu to exhibit all the health conditions, except for any you've chosen to exclude. You can reset the entire menu to default, and that basically realigns it to the left if you ever have issues with the menu, and adds all of our default menu options here. And right now this menu is set to default. You can set the menu to product categories, or you can set the menu to health library topics, again similar to the health conditions option. And then underneath all these, you'll see here swap left and top menu. We'll be using this button momentarily once our menu is condensed enough in the fashion that we like. So as you can see below, we've got our list of menu items, and here you'll go ahead and see this is just a delete function if you ever want to get rid of that menu item. We recommend just de-elevating it more than deleting it, because that way you can always go back and re-enable it if you ever need to. It's always here in your menu options. To the right of that, we have the type, and as you can see here, there's default main, default sub, and a main item is on your site. It's actually just a main item here, and then a sub item is, if you can see here, this is what we call a flyout to the right, and these are sub menu items. So that's the difference between default main and default sub that you see in the Website Management Console. And we really want to take advantage of that to condense the menu and once again make it more user-friendly. So let's take a look here. Elevated means, is it visible in your menu there on your site? These all say yes again. This is the default list. Display order is what order on the menu it appears as. So as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, starting with home and reference room as number 6. And as you can see on your site, we have home and the reference room as number 6. And then you'll notice on the submenu options, they're numbered 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. This just refers to the order that the actual submenu is in underneath the main menu item that it's attached to. And then to the right of this, we've got a link. This is just the actual page URL it links to. And then we've got an add new button at the top here to add a new menu item, and an edit function for all the existing items. So let's go ahead and see how we can clean this up a little bit. So the first thing you'll want to do to clean up your menu is take a look at everything you have visibly showing right now. So as you can see, we've got home, we've got a products menu tab here, store specials here, upcoming events, what we're about. This would be about the About Us page, the reference room, which includes health calculators, conditions here, health and wellness, all of these actual subcategories here. Then we've got custom page, monthly store giveaways that's set, and we really encourage you to make those custom pages. You can actually create them here to the left in the same menu under custom pages, and we really encourage you to do that and add custom content to really make your store, maybe something that if there's a portion of your store that's really important to customers, it's good to make a custom page there. So we've got our custom page listed, monthly store giveaways, Better Nutrition Magazine item listed, store news. Cam links is an older menu item that we do not really keep up with anymore, so we recommend that you do de-elevate that, and I'll show you how to do that. If you go to the right, edit, you can just unclick elevated and click save, and then you'll see here under elevated status it says no, so that's actually no longer visible in the menu options. Underneath that we've got find a practitioner, healthy recipes, ingredients, store coupons there, and then health e-savers coupons as well. So let's go ahead and start condensing this. So the good thing to do is group like with like towards functionality. So let's say we like our home, of course, we like our products being second in order there on the menu, but instead of product showcase, let's change the name to products, make it a little bit more user friendly. So we'll go to edit, and we'll go ahead and change it to products, and we'll click save, and then you'll see it's changed here and changed on your site there. Just a simple name change, and that can make a big difference to customers. So let's go ahead and group a couple other things under products that have similar functions there for the customer. So let's say store specials can go underneath products. So we'll go ahead and change this to specials. And then what we'll do is, as you can see, it's got main menu chosen. What we actually want to do is choose submenu. And then right here, this is a list of all of the main menu options. You can put it as a subordinate under. So we'll go ahead and click products, click save. And now as you can see underneath products, we've got it as a submenu item here. Let's do a couple more to that effect. So we'll go ahead and move coupons. And once again, we'll go to submenu, products, save. So now as you can see, we have products, and then as submenus, we've got specials, coupons, and we'll go ahead and move the healthy savers coupons as well. So there we go. So that's a little bit of condensing for you, and let's take a look at the actual site menu, and you'll see the change here. And as you can see, the list shortened there, so we'll just continue on that real quickly here. Let's go ahead and do a change the what we're about. We'll change it back to about our store. And we'll change this to display order 3 right after products there. So as you can see, it went ahead and moved it up to display order 3. And we'll move a couple items underneath there. So let's find our store news. And then we'll click submenu, about our store. And now as you can see, we have about our store. We have news. Let's go ahead and put upcoming events under there as well. So now we have about our store, news, and upcoming events. And let's take a look at our site now and see the further condensed list here. So once again, it's shortened. As you can see, these are now submenu items, products, about our store. And let's do just a couple more. So under monthly store giveaways, we'll actually move this as a submenu item. Under about our store. we will go ahead and And what we'll go ahead and do is clean. As you can see here, after we reset the default, we actually had a couple top menu items here, and so those are visible underneath top menu. And what we'll go ahead and do is we already have healthy recipes in the left menu, so we'll go ahead and so since we had a couple of those hangovers there on the top menu from the old default, let's go ahead and go to the top menu. We'll just de-elevate these right now, since we have the same choices on the left menu. So we'll go ahead and de-elevate, click Save. And as you can see, we're just turning what was left over on the top here, and we'll go ahead and move our entire left menu that we just edited. We'll go ahead and move that to top, and I'll show you how to do that here. So now that those are gone, we'll go back to left menu. And once again, if we look at the site here, we'll see that the left menu is condensed and those hangovers on the top are gone. And we'll go ahead, we'll condense one more here. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and put the find a practitioner underneath our store. And then we'll go ahead and swap left and top menu. As you can see, there's a message that comes up and it says it is reversible, and it is indeed. So we'll go ahead and click OK. And now we will see our top menu bar. And as you can see, everything's condensed. It's much more friendly to navigate for your customers, much less intimidating, much more modern looking, modern feeling. Just all around a good change to make. So let's go ahead and talk about reordering some of these items here in the third column. Now, I had mentioned earlier moving these tile ads. We can certainly do that, but in order to have that happen, you will have to get in touch with us, and we will have to do it on the back end. It's not something that's available through the website management console in any measure. So just contact us if that's something you're interested in getting done, and we can do that for you. And once again, it widens this third comment. In our final product, we'll see what that looks like. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on a couple more changes to these columns here and to the home page. So let's talk about a good feature to have here in the left column, or in the right. You can move it to the right, but we'll go ahead and add it in the left where it typically is. And under website management again, if you scroll down, you'll see Npa Logo Selection, and what this allows you to do is select a Natural Products Association logo to add to your site, and as well as a link there to their homepage. So we'll go ahead and, as you can see right now, it's set to Don't Display. We'll go ahead and display this logo, and we'll click Link to the association website. We'll click Save. We'll take a look at our site. And this is a great tool to have here for yourself, your customers. As you can see on the click-through, it opens the actual Npa homepage in another window. That's a great thing to have on your site. Now let's go ahead and talk about reordering the third right column there. So back under website management, you'll want to go ahead and scroll up to right column. And these are the items that are shown in the right column right now. We have, once again, a type. And these are just says whether or not it's default or custom. Name of the actual module there. If it's shown on the website or not publicly. The display order, and an edit function, again, very similar to the menu option. So let's go ahead and move some of these. As you can see right now, location and hours, that's actually last, and that might not be beneficial to the site. Customers may have to look around for it there. So here it is on the bottom, location hours. Let's go ahead and move that up to right over the product finder, so that people can find our store directions easily. So as you can see right now, product finder is number 1. So let's go ahead and move location and hours. We'll just change the display out order there. As you can see, it's still chosen elevated. We'll click save. And now you can see location hours is shown as number 1. So now we have location hours here on the top right underneath the featured article. So that's very convenient for your customers to find. Typically the product finder does a little bit better above it, but this is just for demonstration purposes. I know we definitely know how vital it is to have that information handy to your customers. And these all link to, here we have online coupons, access your health. These are our health tools, health calculators, find a local practitioner, and what's cooking there, our recipe module. Store flyers, these are PDFs. As you can see, we've got a link to one here. I can click on that, and here's a store PDF, a sample PDF here. So that's a very good thing to have on your homepage. And then a Better Nutrition magazine little content block there. So those are all useful things to have, and we'll get into this more with the search engine optimization that we'll talk about. Okay, now back on right column setup, let's go ahead and move some of these around again. So let's go ahead and we'll actually move the product finder back up to the top. It should bump location hours down 1. And those text boxes, you don't have to worry about. Those are basically, this is the code for those content blocks. So unless you're really comfortable with the HTML aspect of it, I would not recommend editing it, but it is there. Now let's go ahead and talk about the homepage setup. You may be familiar with this. The homepage setup here dictates what's actually shown on your homepage, and as you can see, once again, it's not very friendly. It's very sterile. They have some content here, but it's not really right in the face of the customers to welcome them. We've got the content we want on the homepage, but it's maybe needs a little bit of reorganization and streamlining. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at the management console again. As you can see, we've got a number of featured stories here. These are actual labels for these modules: featured stories, store news, archived news items. Enable healthy tip, and that's a really good thing to have for customers. They really appreciate the healthy tip, and even people who already know, seemingly know everything about natural products and natural health. They tend to learn something from those healthy tips, so it's good to have on your homepage. And underneath we have a display order once again. So basically the same principle as we've done with the other with the menu and with the right column editor. So here we have header image, store message heading, store message, store specials, the featured stories module, store news module, the healthy tip that we just discussed, any announcements here you may have in your announcements editor here, the condition center, and that's like the top health conditions block there, and then we have a couple interactive blocks which are really good to have on the site. So first let's go ahead and maybe get things squared away by moving the site's custom content to just above the health conditions center. And we do that by, as you can see, condition centers here at 2. What we want to do is move the store message heading to 2, the store message to 3. We'll go ahead and take a look at the site. And we actually may have to reorder this health conditions here too. Okay, I left it at 2 inadvertently there. So we'll go ahead and move that down to to 4. Now let's take a look at it again. So as you can see here now, we've got the page header still here. We've got the welcome to message and welcome to Dee's Perfect Place Whole Foods demo site. We hope you enjoy your stay. That's that welcome message there. Then since we reordered health conditions to 4, it's underneath, and everything else stayed pretty much static since we didn't change it. So let's go ahead and let's say you want to maybe make the number of featured stories. Let's say we'll put it at 5, and you can just decrease it there a little bit to once again streamline it there, but we want it there. We do want it prominent on the home page. That actually has to do with the search engine optimization we'll get into here briefly. And let's go ahead and change some of these headings. So featured stories label, let's make it a little personal. Let's say these stories. Under store news, let's say what's new at Dee's. Under archive news items, we'll say past news. Let's go ahead and save that so we can see those heading changes, those more personal heading changes. We'll refresh here. So as you can see, now underneath featured stories, we've got Dee's stories. Under store news, we've got what's new at Dee's, and we have only this one news item for right now. And then the health tip of the day is underneath. Now another thing that we really recommend to you is to take advantage of these interactive blocks. We provide them, for good reason. Customers really appreciate them, they really love them, and they offer good information about your store, information that customers are interested in. So let's go ahead and choose one of the most popular is this recipe interactive block here. And you'll see it right underneath the condition center. So let's go ahead and make that prominent right above the store message. And what that will do is really draw those customers in. When they're on your homepage, they'll see that you have so much to offer to them from your site. So let's go ahead and make the recipe interactive block number 2. We'll go ahead and make store message heading 3, store message 4, and we'll go ahead and make the condition center 5. Now let's go ahead and save that and take a look at it. So now that we've made those changes, and you can see our new recipe interactive block there. And as you can see, very colorful. It's got great recipes. It's it's a really popular interactive block for customers. We've got our store message heading, our condition center, Dee's stories, and as you can see now we have 5 stories, and our what's new at Dee's news items. So let's move the news items for the store to right underneath the store message. Once again, bring it a little bit more current and give your customers a faster link to your store news there, things that you really want them to see and be involved with. So we'll go ahead and move that to the space of the condition center. Move the condition center to 6. And store specials to 7. And just kind of on down the line. Go ahead and save. And we'll take a look at it now. So you can get an idea there. We went ahead and moved the news items up right underneath the welcome message. And some things like these page headers here, they're really good if you have just pictures of your store, of your staff, products you offer. These page headers can be good. Typically with the updates, what we recommend, and we'll get into this here in just a sec with the aesthetics of the site, but we actually are adding top banners, top headers, and flash headers to the sites to bring them up to date again, bring them more current with the market. And you'll see that in our final product here at the end of the recording. So what we actually recommend for now is just alleviating these page headers if you don't have a real need to add your image in there, because your customers will see essentially a much larger banner site. And I'll give you an example here. And here's an example of what we're actually talking about with the modernization of the larger page, the larger banner there that's kind of scrolling across. That's a much more modern, updated look for your customers. So that's actually what we're working on for the update. So once again, let's go ahead and take these page headers off for the time being. And as you can see, we went to Site Configurator, just a little bit above Homepage Settings. We want to keep the site header on, that's your logo header at the top. Show Page Header Image, we'll click No, and then we'll click Save, and you'll see that alleviates that. You can always go back in and add it, enable that back in if you want to add those images to each page. So once again, a little bit more streamlined. And back here in Site Configurator, we're actually going to make another change for an update. The email signup right now is set to Classic, and as you can see on the site here, if you can scroll to the top, we have our email site up here in the top right corner, and that's okay, it's functional, but what we really like to do is add it to the third column here and bring it up in the order here so people can still see it. It's still pretty visible. And the reason being, when we add a custom header here, or if you were to add a custom header, a wide header to cover the top, such as this here, it can conflict with that. So let's go ahead and change that real quickly. Go back to the config, and under email signup, we'll go ahead and click on third column module, save, and now we'll go ahead and go back to right column where we were earlier, and now under email signup, as you can see, it says yes, display order 5. So let's take a look at our site real quickly and see where that's at. And here it is, right underneath store directions. We now have an email sign up. So that's kind of good. It just moves it out of the way, the top header there. And we do recommend, with the aesthetics, again, we'll talk about this in just a second, that the header be more substantial than just a left side logo. It's really good to have something that covers across the entire top of this middle column where all the content is. Let's go back to our Web Management Console. Now, since we've added the interactive recipe block there, let's go ahead and also streamline the home page by removing it from the third column to shorten that column a little bit. Once again, we typically want to keep all that stuff on, but on the third column, since we already have the interactive block there and it's a little bit more visible, we'll go ahead and remove that from the third column. So to do that, and once again, you don't really want to delete any of these. These are all default, and they may not allow you to delete them unless they're custom, but they will always allow you to elevate or de-elevate them. But once again, we really strongly recommend that they stay on for the most part. Now underneath store recipes, since we have the interactive block, what we'll go ahead and do is de-elevate that and click save. So now we don't have the duplicate content there. Now the only thing is, these columns, or this third column, is visible on each page on your site, so that will make the recipes not reachable right off the bat unless you use the menu tab here. This interactive module won't be on every single page, but once again, it just streamlines the site a little bit. Now we really recommend, once again with the sites, that if you run sales, promotions, you use a lot of couponing with your customers, these are really the things to drive people into your store. These are really the things that pique their interest. So please definitely keep all of those items updated. Once again, and I'll show you in the website management console, almost all of that is you're able to do through the monthly maintenance here in the top. You can do email promotions, store specials. You can edit your store specials. Store news, you can add store news items, so we really recommend you do that regularly, once a week if not more, and at least once a month at least, to keep people interested in the store. Otherwise they may not keep coming back to the site because they do want to know what's going on with you, and if they've already come to your site, you've already won half the battle, but you've got to keep that content up to date to pique their interest. And PDF documents such as store flyers, store specials. As you can see, we've got a newsletter here. We'll view it, and that's viewable. Once again, I showed you there on the home page through that link in the right column. That's viewable on every page of the website. But it's really good to keep those things up to date. In-store coupons. We've got an in-store coupon here, 25% off Mineral Wednesdays on this demo. It's elevated, so it is visible on the coupons page. And once again, that's available through our menu option under products and coupons. And once again, very critical for your online business and your online presence. Updating the store events. All of these items are just really critical, and we can't stress that enough. We won't really go into each one, how to actually use each tool, because of limited time during the improvement session, but we do have other videos available here and on our WebEx site that will go over some of those promotional tools for you. Now let's talk about search engine optimization, or SEO as it's referred to. SEO governs how highly rated your site is online, and by that we mean how visible it is if someone is to Google search or use a search engine to look for natural products in your area. How visible are you on that list? Are you the first returned on that list? So when they pull up Google and they Google for natural foods products somewhere in Florida, as our demo site is set here, is your site first up, or is it 10th on the list? Is it on the next page? That's very critical to getting that site traffic. So what we wanted to discuss with you, just let you know what a lot of this content is here for, what it does for you, the retailer, and for your site and your traffic. So here you can see a couple key things really stand out. Of course, the recipes interactive block again, and adding this recipes to the third column will help boost the SEO, but basically the content that we provide for you to provide your customers is the main tool to drive that search engine optimization. It used to be that you could get to store's site, you could get to store's home, you could get that traffic one click deep, and now what we find from search engines providing this information to us is that it's more complex now. You have to be 3 clicks deep to really find the source, to really get to your site. Someone's got to be 3 clicks deep. So what that means is to really bring that traffic in, they may not be searching for your site right off the bat, but they're searching for things related to your site, for content you have included on your site, as well as maybe that information that they're just searching for over the entire web. So all of the content that we provide plays a key role in this, and what it does is it puts that tool there on your site, so when they go to search, it returns your site to them, and valid information, but it also returns your information, your personality, your what you have to offer them. That's really key to driving traffic. So what we can see on the site here, we'll go over our 4 principal tools for search engine optimization. We have featured articles here to the left. This is basically an entire microsite And as you can see, it's got featured articles about consider these supplements for kids. Mini meals keep kids focused in school. Xylitol, a sweet way to improve dental health. These are things that people are searching for with their questions on what can I do to give my child a healthy meal for school? What can I do to pack their lunches in a more more healthy and more natural way? That content will return your site here to them, and they can read. They can find out by clicking on these articles. They can read on what they're interested in and get that critical information, and that makes your site a resource for them, and not just another retailer on the web or another store personal site on the web. And then once again, the microsite, we've got other content besides just the featured stories. We've got recipes for healthy lunch items for kids at school. We've got an interactive video here. So it's just a lot of content here that people searching for that information, they can find on your site. So that's number one in your search engine optimization. We always want the microsite, or this larger featured articles console there for people to be able to access that information and to really use your site as a resource. And they'll always want to come back to it. It will encourage them to really come back to your site and see what other content you have to offer. In a like manner, we've got the featured article. As you can see, this will take us to a specific featured article about a health matter. Right now, it's remarkable immune boosting actions of age. Once again, people looking for age-related health content. This returns your site to them before they go to another resource that maybe can't offer them everything they're looking for in the way of maybe a local natural shop, maybe friendly service, friendly information from you, the provider. Then we've also got, of course, these promotional tiles to the right. Once again, we're going to have those moved for demonstration purposes to the bottom. But these promotional tiles, they play a key role as well. Anyone searching for these items, anyone searching for information on a specific item category that may be covered in these tiles, this will return that from your site to them again, and allow them to go ahead and click the link, take a look at those items, promotional materials provided by the companies for those items. It's really useful, again, for people browsing online and for your site traffic overall. And let's take a look at the homepage again here for a couple more SEO features. The featured stories, and as you know, we've renamed it D stories from earlier. Featured stories, once again, just like the featured article at the top, just like the microsite, it is more content for people to find your site by. So that's critical, and that's why having a good number of featured stories visible on your site really helps. And lastly, let's talk about the Top Health Condition Center. This provides tools to your customers based on health conditions, and they can click into these. So let's talk about ADHD here, and it'll give you information on ADHD. Articles there gives you it'll give you links to here we have integrative therapy quick links. We've got all kinds of information on the actual condition, related terms, background, symptoms and diagnosis, typical treatment that is performed, and just all of this information here is just really critical for customers that you have existing that may be interested in finding information about a condition. As you can see, we've got this whole list of conditions to the right, and likewise, it's once again people searching for that information. They can find the information they need, and not only can they find it, which is great, and that's that is what they need to find online, but they can find it on your site, and you can be the resource for them. You can provide that to them. So it'll make your site more visible, it will increase the traffic, and it will really help your existing customers, and it will really help people who are potentially very happy new customers for you. Now, if you wish to exclude any articles or any natural standard content, you can do so at this link here on the left under Website Management, at the bottom, Manage Content. As you read here, you can exclude individual articles here, or you can actually exclude entire topics. It's to the right here, and you see the exclude function. So we just want to let you know about that. But you still want to keep those conditions. You still want to keep a lot of that content as much on there as you're comfortable with, because that once again increases traffic to your site and is a resource to anyone interested. So let's lastly just cover some aesthetics to the site and some changes. So once again, we've made the homepage a little bit easier to navigate for customers, a little bit more navigable. We've made it a little bit more, given a more friendly layout. Now let's talk about updating the look of the site. Typically, modern sites have some background context to the site, and as you can see here, everything is kind of white. It's kind of these just uniform white and red. It doesn't stand out much still aesthetically. So there are a couple ways that we can address this. We can go ahead and fill out this top header here and move it across to fit the width of this center middle column of all this content. Once again, we'll move the add tiles from the right to the bottom, and once again, that's a feature that you actually have to get in touch with us to do, but we're happy to do for you. And lastly, we'll give it a background. We'll give it a background that you'll see on either side of the middle column that reflects the colors of the site, the feel of the site. We'll want to make it a little bit cozy, more about you. Add some pictures, add some personal pictures of your staff or your storefront there to the header to really bring it out, and maybe clean up the store logo a little bit. And to give you an idea of where some of that's done here, in the Web Management console under Website Management, we have Image Catalog, where you can upload new store logos by clicking on the drop-down and choosing Store Logo. We will actually be scripting in a background for this site, and typically we'll save those backgrounds as event images and link to them. And actually, we will be doing one other thing aesthetically here. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be adding the flash banner here, as well as a couple associated social media buttons. And you can see some of those here on our Mango's demonstration site. We've got a Facebook like function with a recommended box here, a tweet with a recommended box, a Pinterest pin it button, and an interactive share button here. And we'll be adding that to the site as well, to once again, make it a little bit more modern, show people that it is interactive, that things can be done to show others, friends and family who might be interested, that your store exists there, that it offers a real valuable service. And some of those aesthetic changes, what we'll do is you'll actually see those here on the back end of this presentation. We're going to make those changes off of the presentation, just because of the fact that typically it's more of a graphic design issue than it is enabling anything in the website management console. And if you're interested in having us make any of these aesthetic changes for you, such as the flash banner or the social media buttons, anything like that, you can always give us a call and let us know, and we can work on that for you. We're happy to do that. So let's just do a quick review of what we learned, and then at the end of this presentation you will see the updated site, aesthetics and all, and you'll get a good idea of the basic web improvements that we're aiming to help you all with there in the market. So we had earlier talked about changing the format of the site to make it more user-friendly. So we moved the menu from left to top here, and went ahead and added some of these items as sub-menus to make it a little more user-friendly, a little more comfortable and modern of a feel. And we did that here just to refresh your memory under Website Management Console in Menu Setup. And then we also, see in top menu, we also changed the order of some of these right column, and this is the right column, is this third column here. Changed the order of some of those modules, and we did that in the Website Management Console under right column, right underneath Menu Setup where we just were. And if you can remember, we de-elevated one just for demonstration. We went ahead and changed the display order to reflect how we want them to vertically. We added the Npa logo, which actually links to their site, and we did this in Website Management Console under Website Management, Npa Logo Selection. Selected the logo we want to use here and clicked link to the association website. And we got rid of the classic email signup that may conflict with any custom header that you add to the site. We did that once again under Website Management, under Site Configurator, Email Signup, and we clicked it to the third column module because you still want it visible there for your clients. And here it is. We reordered items on the home page and added the recipes interactive block. We did that underneath homepage settings, reordered the elements here, and added the recipe interactive block. And once again, just to make sure you know, anything that's 0 is not visible there, or it is not turned on, if you will. It's turned off, if you will. So you have to have a number value for it to be visible on the site, but we did that there. And then lastly, as far as format, of course, we'll be moving these add tiles to the bottom as we suggested earlier. And then we talked about search engine optimization. We talked about the pillars of content that you really need on your site to provide that information to your customers, to get new customers in from online and really increase your traffic. So we talked about the microsite here, and the microsite once again links to not just article content, it links to interactive things such as YouTube videos that are embedded, recipes, sometimes there are coupons, all kinds of content there. We talked about the featured article, which is an article or set of associated articles on a given topic that, if people are searching online for that topic, and it can help return your site there and give that information to them. We talked about featured stories here in a similar vein to the featured article. More content that can be, searched for by content online and found and refer to your site there. Similarly to the health tip. And the top conditions center here, and this is another thing that can give you higher visibility online and can really help your increase your traffic. And then lastly, we covered just some aesthetic changes that we'll be making, and you'll see here momentarily. We talked about going ahead and maybe updating the store logo and the image catalog function of the web management console. Once again, under Website Management, Image Catalog, where you can upload a new store logo, and then you can make it visible under Store Information and Store Logo, and that's the same for a header. So you will be seeing that here on the back end. We talked once again, as in format, about moving those add tiles to the bottom there to widen these 3 columns and make it more modern of a feel site, give you more room for the middle content. And we talked about adding a flash banner in the middle with rotating images, which you'll see once again. If that's something you're interested in, you can contact us and we can set that up on your site for you. And talked about social media buttons. So here we see that flash image there, and social media buttons up here to the top of the site. We can add those for you if you're interested. And you will also see a background to the site, and that's another thing we'll be fixing for you. There is a background to the site, so you will see an example of that as well on the final product. And that's a basic review of everything we covered on the website update, the web improvement session. This is kind of a basic session, just going over some visual elements, some content elements to really get traffic increased to your site and really make people a little bit more comfortable with the layout and the feel. Once again, to really see an impact, you've got to keep it up to date. You have to keep adding new specials and coupons, store news items, anything that the customer may be interested in. You really have to use those tools that we provide to drive them back to your store or to your site once we get there from the initial point. So once again, my name is Drew from Living Naturally. I really appreciate your time and your attention. I hope this was informative for you. And if you have any feedback, you can always contact us. You can always get in touch with us and give us your feedback. We're happy to have it, and happy to make any changes. If you have a request, get in touch with us. We're happy to make any changes for you to help you out. So once again, thank you for your time, and we will see you later. Thanks.